We're at the beginning of a new wave of research.
There is the magic of science.
Man's greatest power source is his mind.
Let's start by meeting a leading authority on the subject.
Even before the days of YouTube, videos had their special place in the study and sharing of science. So here are 5 of the most influential science videos, and reasons why I think they're amazing. First off, the first motion picture horse from 1878. These images became the first insight into how objects, including animals, move. Our brains naturally put sequential images together into a movie so that the details of the movement are obscured. What's funny is the photos actually came about through a bet. Leland Stanford, later the founder of Stanford University, had made a bet that for one moment, all 4 of the racehorse's hooves are off the ground simultaneously, and he'd hired Muybridge to take the pictures to prove him right. The images were taken by setting up a row of cameras with tripwires, each of which would trigger a picture for a split second as the horse ran by. It marked not only the beginning of an area of science called kinematics, but also the beginning of a new use for photography. As Muybridge put it, to capture the truth through photography. Now, I'm sure everyone has seen this iconic footage.
Okay, I'm going to leave that 1 foot up there and both hands down about the 4th rung up. There you go. Okay, now I think I'll do the same.
It's one of the best exemplifications of humankind's desire to explore and test the reach of human capability. What's also cool is that the cameras had to withstand the demands of space. For example, the modified television camera on the lunar module recorded at only 10 frames per second to allow for the signal to be radioed back to Earth. Back on Earth, the signal was converted to be the more standard 30 frames per second, so it could be viewed by millions of people all around the world. In the words of Neil Armstrong, it was the beginning of a new age in space exploration. An estimated 600 million people watched the Apollo 11 landing live on television. Once we'd conquered filming in outer space, it was time to conquer another alien territory, this time inside the human body. Now, while body parts like the esophagus, stomach, and large bowel can be successfully scanned using an endoscope, other organs like the intestine and small bowel are not so easily scanned. Enter PillCam. PillCam can make it easier to diagnose diseases like celiac disease and Crohn's disease. And just like in space, the conditions inside the body aren't exactly hospitable, and you can't bring all the usual equipment with you. Therefore, the PillCam is equipped with a light source, batteries, a radio transmitter, and antennae, and it transmits images to a receiver worn around the patient's waist.
Unarmed and untrained, she ventured into a strange new world.
Aside from Jane Goodall being an absolute inspiration to budding biologists everywhere, this film showed some of the most extensive and dedicated fieldwork of its time. Goodall's research bridged the gap between human and chimpanzee. She was able to observe very human-like behaviors in chimps, such as hugs, tool use, aggression, and tickling. Tool use especially made us re-examine everything it means to be a human. Before this point, we thought humans were the only animal capable of making and using tools. This research paved the way for some other really fundamental animal intelligence research. Goodall's trip made her realize the interconnectedness and relationship between people and nature, and this sparked decades of conservation fundraising and activism. Last, but certainly not least, think science, and you have to, of course, think of the Nobel Prizes. The 1929 ceremony was particularly amazing because it was the first to be recorded on film. It certainly has that old-timey feel, similar to Charlie Chaplin clips of the same era. Nonetheless, it gives us a glimpse of the prestige and wonder surrounding the famous ceremony, and it just reinforces what a privilege it is to receive such an award. So what do you think? Are these the 5 best science videos of all time? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below, and I'll catch you next time.